Cowabunga dudes, and welcome to Steelbook Obsessed. My name is Jake, and I've got a 4K review for you, and that is the 90s trilogy classic of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this Arrow Video beautiful box set. Took me a little bit longer than I wanted to pump this review out, but that's a good thing because there's a ton to talk about with this release. On my physical media reviews, I like to go over three main criteria: the TNA effect, the transfer in audio, the packaging, and last but certainly not least for me, the special features, which there are a ton of in this release. But if you like those criteria as well and you want more movie reviews pumped into your feeds, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that fun jargon. And when I talk about the transfer in audio, I'll go through them movie by movie because to me, there were very stark differences between the films and kind of like a stair-step approach to them. The first one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original. Believe it or not, this is a first-time watch for me. Never really got around to seeing that movie, having the VHS. I want to say like they were doing like giveaways of that movie at McDonald's or Pizza Hut or something like that. I grew up with the second. I watched the second so many times, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But the original, even though I loved the Turtles with a passion, never saw it. So watching it here for the first time, I had a fun time with it. I had a blast with it, I should say, because it blends some things that are good for children with a very, very dark tone. I guess kind of not dumbing down the material for the children. It goes akin to what the vibes were from the original black and white comic book run that the Ninja Turtles were based off of. Movie is a very, very fun time. The transfer, on the other hand, it's not the greatest. It's not the brightest. This movie was made with Golden Harvest, was picked up later by New Line. And I don't know if like there was just not the material, the film that this transfer came from was in the best condition, or if this is just the best they have to work with. But not great. Very I just did a review of Eyes Wide Shut. It's that type of grain in and out of this movie that kind of just puts a damper onto things. Like, it won't ruin your enjoyment of the film. You can watch this movie on VHS. You can watch this movie on Blu-ray, which I do have the Trilogy pack for. I don't know if I can grab it. It's just like right over there, so I'm not going to get out of frame. But I've had this movie for the longest time on multiple formats, and I've never watched it until this 4K. So I'm not sure if the transfer, how it kind of levels off between the Blu-ray, 4K, DVD, all that jazz. What I can say is it's fine, but it definitely won't win any best of transfer awards. There's some sharpness to it. Of course, the best thing to me when it comes to 4K UHD transfers is like the fire effects, the lights, how they kind of pop on screen, the black levels. Black levels are very hit or miss. Fire never misses. Fire always looks sharp in any movie that it's in with 4K, and this is no exception there. Transfer wise for the first movie, I'm kind of gonna give it a 7. It's not crazy. This release does have new Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos transfers. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1 with stereo and a new Dolby Atmos mix. The film is presented in 4K resolution in HDR10 and Dolby Vision. The original 35mm camera negative was scanned in 4K 16-bit by Focotem. A 35mm inner positive was also scanned for Reel 3, which was missing from the negative. A 35mm UK theatrical release print was sourced from the BFI for the content unique to the UK release. A lot of love and care went into this release. And again, all of those goodies that I just read off was in this very cool book, which I'll get to a little bit later. I don't think the movies have ever looked better, but if this is the best that they look, then it's fine. I'm glad that they went through all that trouble. But for me, the first movie was the weakest transfer wise. And then you just kind of get a stair step up into 2, The Secret of the Ooze, which after seeing the first one finally, I don't know if 2 is still my favorite. Nostalgically it is, but I think that I haven't seen that movie since I was like 10 years old, so coming back to it in my mid-30s definitely didn't hit the same, I will say. But I still had a lot of fun with it, and I don't know if my nostalgia goggles were just like strapped on way too tight for this watching or not. Still a lot of fun to be had with, too. I think that opening fight scene in the toy store is still a blast, even though they're fighting with like foam paddles and salami nunchucks and whatever. I still have a fun time with it. The Toker and Razar stuff, how they're kind of dumb. They have brains of babies. Not my favorite thing at all. And the third act completely falls on its face. Like, they get Vanilla Ice and then they don't know what to do after that. And they just kind of rush through Super Shredder, which is a damn shame. But I still have very soft spot in my heart for Secret of the Ooze. Very fun movie. And transfer-wise, it does go a level up for me. I think the production from 1 to 2, of course, went up. They didn't want to be as dark. They wanted to play it more for kids. So maybe the brightness of the movie also helped as well. Transfer and audio-wise, the audio is going to stay pretty dang flat when it comes to all three of these movies. It's pretty dang stellar. Transfer-wise, though, I gave the first movie a 7. I'm going to give the second one an 8. And then we go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, which is a bore fest and not like that movie whatsoever, going into the whole Turtles in Time effect from the video game, which is a smart move. I wish that they would have went into more time periods, but you can tell the budget like fell off a cliff. And like the suits that are used for the Turtles in the third movie, what? That looks so gross. It looked very, very fake. And Master Splinter looks very animatronic. Like, he always didn't look the greatest, but he was kind of hidden behind shadows. Now he looks like he should be part of like a Chuck E. Cheese thing. It just looks very, very animatronic in the worst way possible. And the movie is not that great either. But the transfer, holy God, does that look amazing, which kind of stinks. The worst movie in the trilogy looks the best, but it is. You can see a whole bunch of like the scaly skin on the turtles at all times. When they go to those Japanese settings, it pops like crazy. I feel like the fun filter, the brightness is even turned up even more from the second movie when they're doing all of their flips and whatnot at the very beginning. Looks great. The opening scene, oh my God, with the sunset, the setting sun, the Japanese red and black effects. Mwah, that looks amazing. That will be imprinted in my brain for a very long time. Again, this is my first time watch for 3 as well. I watched 2 as a kid, didn't watch anything else. And I guess I'm kind of happy about that. I would have loved to watch the first movie. And I get people's gripes on not having The Last Ronin be... It's not canceled, it's just postponed indefinitely, which is pretty much a cancel, but it might happen in the future. They're deciding to Sonicify the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles instead of go like a hard R, which I feel like they're both going to make the same amount of money. There's Turtles fans that grew up with this original trilogy that would love to see it R-rated. But then there's also still that new generation that loves the mutant mayhem, that you want to get that money and slap it onto another live-action IP. So I totally get both ways. But going back to the transfer of this, very solid. I would do a 9 out of 10 for the transfer of 3. So if we do the average of all of them, transfer and audio for the entire trilogy is going to go a solid 8 out of 10. It's not bad. Like I said, it's just the first one especially. The first one being the first movie, you always want it to be as good as humanly possible or the best of the bunch. And unfortunately for this one, it is not. But now we are going to go to the packaging, which I have to say, bravo to Arrow Video. I'm trying to put it all away so I can showcase it off to you here. We get a nice slipcover of the original poster artwork, which I absolutely love. Big, beefy spine here with some nice spot gloss that I can showcase off there on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here. There's spot gloss on this as well. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see that. A whole smattering of special feature goodies that I'll dig into a little bit later. But you pull this off, and there's differentiating artwork. I love when Arrow Video does that, and they don't do it enough. Even though this is simplistic with just a shell, it does the job for me. There's the spine. The back is the ooze coming out of the canister. Very nice touch. And we get the spines sticking out right there. You get 2 different artworks that you can choose. I already flipped all of these around already. The original poster artwork I decided to go with. But then you also have new artwork, newly commissioned artwork that's on the disc. So I didn't need it opened up here to have the same on this side. That is too far for me. But I kind of showcased off a little bit here. you don't get stills from the movie. You don't get the giant cards. You get different character cards here that are holographic, very Pokemon-ish style here. I don't know. I really enjoy this, especially for this type of like kidified type of movie. You get cool collector's items. I like the originality that Arrow Video is going for here. And not only do you get cards in the first one, you get stickers in the first one right here of the 4 turtles as well. And then going into the second, closing this, again, you just get the classic artwork there, or the special feature stuff there. Classic poster for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Love that with a passion. Newly commissioned artwork with Super Shredder on the disc right here, and it's also the reversible artwork. Go over here, you get a couple more goodies. In number 2, you get cards of Master Splinter and Shredder. You also get Roy's, a replica pizza card of Roy's. No stamps on here, unfortunately. Buy 7 pizzas, get the 8th free. This is the type of stuff that I like. I like physical goodies in my physical media, and especially when you put a little bit of thought into it, I'm always going to be a fan of that. This one comes with a poster as well, which I'm going to showcase off, because I haven't showed off the newly commissioned artwork in its full feet. So here's what the original... This is what the front side of the artwork looks like. This is the reversible side, which I already showcased off. I reversed each and every one. Because if you're going to give me the option for theatrical poster artwork, I'm going to choose that 9 times out of 10, unless the new artwork that you commissioned really pulls a heavy load. And again, the Vanilla Ice of this movie is kind of crazy. It's still so insane. It works to me. I really still enjoy that, and it's a highlight of this movie for me. But then we get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the original poster artwork right there. This is probably the weakest of all 3. Oh, I don't have the disc. The disc is still in my player because what took me so long is going through all the special features of this movie. The cards in this one, April O'Neil and Casey Jones right there in all its prismatic effects. And I will showcase off the poster as well, because you get, again, the cool classic. I had it unfolded and then I just folded back up. Really like that artwork here. And then here is what the newly commissioned artwork looks like. Nothing crazy to me. Kind of like the movie, a little bit of a bore, a little bit bland, but still cool that all 3 movies come with a poster. Love to see it. We also get a mega big boy poster for the first movie, made out of a different material, a thicker material. Here is the original poster artwork of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then on the back, you get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 kind of like scroll effect. The old artwork that they find back in Japanese days. And lastly, we have the booklet, which again is a replica of Roy's. Love to see it. We got a whole bunch of pizza goodies on the back here. And then again, I showcased off about the presentation. There's a whole bunch of essays, whole bunch of stills. Very, very good stuff here. I really can't think of anything that I would have done differently with this release. I could go the umbrella effect and have like slip covers over these releases inside of the box, but Arrow has never done that, so I'm not gonna make it lose points because they didn't do that. For me, packaging on this sucker, it's a 10 out of 10. I think it is absolutely solid. There is different artwork on the case, and the slip has some nice gloss pops. Not a lot of complaints on my end for packaging on this. But now we will get to the meat and potatoes of these discs, which are the special features, which are loaded. Absolutely chock full of greatness here. A lot of new interviews, which is always fun to see, of some people you might care to hear from, some people you might not, but at least they put the time and energy in to go and not like Teams call or Skype or video call anything. It's real people sitting down with a camera, shooting in the best resolution possible to talk to these people, to preserve their thoughts of their time making the film. Absolutely love it. On the first movie, we get Rising When We Fall, a newly filmed interview with director Steve Barron, which was very insightful, full with a whole bunch of stuff of him. He didn't really go into detail of him being fired from the film, and that's why he didn't get hired on for 2 and 3. There's another interview on here that kind of talks about that. But it's always fascinating to get the director's point of view on their time making the film that they made. You get Turtle Talk, a newly filmed interview with actors Robbie Rist, Brian Toshi, Ernie Reyes Jr., and Ken Scott, which was made by a friend of the channel, Justin Beam. And you get some turtles. Either Michelangelo was the voice, the rest of them were in the suits. And hearing just how grueling of a process it was being in those suits, performing, trying to do all the stunts, hit all the times, having other people like move with their hands, the puppet's mouth. Truly fascinating stuff. Very good interview there. O'Neill on the Beat, a newly filmed interview with actor Judith Hoag, which she was only here for the first movie. So the fact that they got her for this release is very cool. She doesn't really go into much detail on why she didn't come back for 2 or 3, but just having her insight on her time in the first movie was very fun to watch. Wet Behind the Shells, a newly filmed interview with producer Simon Fields. Beneath the Shell, a newly filmed interview with puppet coordinator and second unit director Brian Henson, which was great. There's a lot of behind the scenes photos. There's one that they use multiple times with the director of the film and Jim Henson, which is so cool, with a whole bunch of turtles around him. Of course, Brian Henson is of course his son. Did second unit on this movie, and getting his insight. I am such a sucker for practical effects of any kind, and I love Jim Henson, and I love the Muppets, and I love his whole like studios, Jim Henson Studios, just crafting things with your hands to make content for people to watch is just like one of the best forms of storytelling that there is for me. And seeing the process of how they made the turtles and what they needed to do to actually make them move in a suit. Fascinating stuff. Highly recommend you watching that special feature on here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turf, a newly filmed featurette exploring the film's locations in New York City and North Carolina. There's normally, I can't remember the guy's name, but for a lot of like Vinegar Syndrome releases, some Arrow Video, some Scream Factory, they take the same guy and he goes to some of these hallowed halls. This is a new guy doing that in a not as personal view, but just kind of showcasing off, this is what it looked like here, this is what it looks like now. And I liked his style there. That's the majority of the special features on disc 1. I don't really talk about commentaries. I never listen to them, so sorry about that. I just dig into the bonus materials on here. But TMNT 2 probably had my favorite archival piece on here, because they talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mania, the making of TMNT 2, and the huge phenomenon the movie was in the 90s when this mini doc was being made. Loved watching this movie with a passion. And it perfectly encapsulates what it was like being a kid in the early to mid 90s with TMNT ruling everything. It was very fun. People opening up presents. I love seeing merchandise from the time as well. So highly recommend you watch that half an hour if you're a fan of TMNT and like them as a child. It'll bring back some nostalgic blasts like crazy. And it also gives the best detailed behind the scenes looks of what it took to make the turtles work in real life. Huge pain in the butt from what it sounds like. And yeah, I highly recommend it. If you want an inside look on how the process of practical effects is working, I would highly recommend you watching that. We also have John Duprez to the rescue, a newly filmed interview with composer of the trilogy, John Duprez. Hardcore's newly filmed interview with Kenny Wilson, mold shop supervisor at Jim Henson's Creature Shop. And The Secret of the Edit, a newly filmed interview with editor Steve Mirovic. Just very cool stuff. Very more of the same. The first one, again, it's kind of like a stair step, except this time the stair step is going down. The first movie is jam-packed with special features. The second one has a little bit less, but I still think they're worth your time watching. And then we get to the third, which has the least amount. But again, I don't know of a lot of people that are probably going to watch all 3 of them. They'll definitely watch 1. They're probably not going to watch. They might watch 2, they might not. They might just have it on in the background. And the third one, I feel like, is the one that's going to get watched the least. And that's why we only have a couple new special features here. Dynamos and Demons, a newly filmed interview with actor Scab Shimono, something like that. Rebel, a newly filmed interview with actor Vivian Wu, an alternate UK opening, theatrical trailer, all that fun stuff. And the second one, I forgot to mention that they called the movie Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles over in the UK because they didn't want any type of association with ninja stuff. So they also showed different cuts of the film that they did to make sure that you can either watch the whole movie like that or just see a little snippet of what they actually changed. Again, Special feature wise here, they go above and beyond to give you a lot of new and just the right amount of archival to kind of keep your appetite sustained. Special features wise here, you don't get some people that you wish you could have heard from. But again, some people are just really hard to get a hold of or don't want to come back and talk about it. So the people that they did get here, bravo, Arrow Video. Special features wise, I'm giving this release a 10 out of 10 as well. Really, really enjoyed it, which makes the math in my head super duper easy. The total score for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Trilogy box set is getting a 28 out of 30. Very, very good. This makes it one very, very high up physical media release of 2025. If you're a fan of this trilogy in any sense of the word, pick it up. Wait for a sale. I want to say very, very soon or now, Barnes & Noble is having a 50% off Arrow Video sale. Perfect time. Cannot do much worse than picking this sucker up at the cheapest price you'll be able to ever find it. But those are my thoughts on the Turtles. Those are my thoughts on the transfers and everything else that is pressed to disc on this release. Let me know your thoughts on the trilogy in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on if you actually grabbed this, what your thoughts are on the physical media release. I always like to hear your 2 cents. And thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see ya.